Chosen One, if you're not mentally and spiritually fortified enough to handle the nuclear-level devastation I'm about to unleash on your perception of reality, close this now and walk away. What I'm revealing will obliterate every assumption you've made about loyalty, family, and the people you've been foolish enough to trust with your sacred energy. And once this knowledge enters your consciousness, there's no going back to the comfortable ignorance you've been living in. You remember those family gatherings where something felt off. You chalked it up to your imagination, maybe some family drama that didn't concern you, but your instincts were picking up on something far more sinister. You were witnessing the preliminary stages of your character assassination, watching as seeds of doubt about your integrity were being planted in fertile minds. Your betrayer has been using your own success against you in ways that would make master manipulators jealous. Every time you bounced back from a setback, every time you turned a crisis into an opportunity, every time you demonstrated the resilience that marks you as chosen, they were there taking notes. You thought they were proud of your strength, impressed by your ability to overcome obstacles, inspired by your refusal to stay down, but they were actually studying your recovery patterns, learning how to create setbacks that would be harder to bounce back from, plotting ways to turn your greatest victories into evidence of your supposed crimes. This betrayal runs deeper than simple jealousy or petty family drama. We're talking about systematic theft, not just of money, though that's certainly part of it, but theft of your innocence, your trust, your ability to see the best in people without constantly looking over your shoulder. They've been stealing your luck, your opportunities, your very essence, because watching you succeed while they remain stuck in their own mediocrity became too painful for their fragile ego to bear. The financial component of this treachery is particularly sinister because they've been using your own generosity as a weapon against you. Remember those times they came to you in distress, needing help with bills or unexpected expenses? You opened your heart and your wallet because that's who you are, someone who sees family in need and responds without hesitation. But they weren't just accepting your help, Chosen One. They were studying your patterns, learning about your resources, gathering intelligence for the elaborate frame job they've been constructing in the shadows. They've been working with someone else, someone whose connection to you runs deeper than friendship or family ties. This is someone who was meant to be your perfect match, your divine counterpart, your spiritual equal, but they allowed fear and manipulation to cloud their judgment. Your betrayer didn't work alone in this campaign of destruction. They enlisted the help of someone whose heart was already entangled with yours, someone who should have been your greatest protector, but instead became an unwitting accomplice in your downfall. The evidence they've been building against you reads like something out of a crime thriller, except the crimes they're trying to pin on you are the very ones they've been committing themselves. Financial fraud, identity theft, embezzlement. They've been living a double life with such commitment that even people close to them have no idea about the depths of their deception. By day, they play the role of concerned family member, but by night, they've been forging documents, manipulating accounts, and creating a paper trail designed to make you look guilty of their sins. The moment of revelation is approaching like a freight train loaded with cosmic justice, and when it hits, the shockwaves will shatter every carefully constructed lie your betrayer has built. The person with authority who's been investigating their claims against you has reached a conclusion that will leave everyone involved absolutely stunned. Instead of finding evidence of your guilt, they've uncovered a systematic campaign of fraud and deception that makes your betrayer look like the amateur criminal they truly are. Your betrayer made one critical error in their elaborate scheme. They underestimated the power of truth and overestimated their ability to manipulate reality indefinitely. The digital footprints they left behind, the financial records that contradict their story, the witness testimonies that place them at the scene of crimes they've accused you of committing. It's all coming together in a perfect storm of accountability that will leave them drowning in the consequences of their own actions. The person they convinced to work against you is about to experience their own devastating moment of clarity. They're going to realize that every doubt they harbored about your character was artificially planted. Every fear they felt about your intentions was carefully cultivated. Every reason they found to distance themselves from you was based on deliberately distorted information. The shame and regret they'll feel for participating in your betrayal, even unknowingly, will be overwhelming, but it will also serve as the catalyst for their transformation back to truth. The very evidence your betrayer thought they were building against you has become the proof of your innocence and their guilt. Every lie they told created a contradiction. Every forged document left a trail. Every manipulation generated evidence that now points directly back to them. They thought they were playing God with your life, but they were actually building their own prison cell brick by brick, lie by lie. The investigator looking into this case has discovered something that changes everything. Your betrayer has done this before. This isn't their first attempt at destroying someone close to them, and the pattern of behavior they've established over years of similar crimes is about to catch up with them in ways that will make their current predicament look like a minor inconvenience. They've been walking free because previous victims were too ashamed or too afraid to come forward, but now that their methods are being scrutinized by professionals, other victims are finding the courage to speak up. The house of cards your betrayer built is collapsing with such spectacular force that even they can't deny what's happening anymore. The authorities they thought they could manipulate are now pursuing them with the determination of professionals who don't appreciate being made fools of by amateur criminals. The family members they convinced to turn against you are now seeing the manipulation they were subjected to, suddenly recognizing the lies they were fed, suddenly understanding they were pawns in a game they didn't even know they were playing. Your divine counterpart is returning to you, transformed by their journey through deception and back to truth, humbled by their temporary blindness but grateful for the opportunity to see clearly again. They understand that their participation in your betrayal, however unwitting, requires genuine accountability and sustained effort to rebuild the trust they helped destroy. This reconciliation won't be immediate or easy, but it will be profound because both of you have been tested and proven through the crucible of ultimate betrayal and ultimate forgiveness. The financial crimes committed in your name are being exposed through an investigation that reveals the true scope of their deception. Bank records, digital transactions, forged documents, false identities, stolen credentials. It's all coming to light in a way that makes their accusations against you look ridiculous in comparison. The money they stole, the credit they destroyed, the accounts they opened fraudulently, every single transaction is being traced back to its source, and that source isn't you. Every attack on your character has been polishing your spiritual armor. Every attempt to steal your energy has been strengthening your boundaries. Every lie told about you has been clarifying your truth. You didn't just survive this betrayal, you dominated it, turned it into fuel for your transformation, alchemized their poison into your power. The person who emerges from this trial isn't the same person who entered it. You've been forged in the fire of ultimate betrayal and emerged as someone who cannot be easily deceived, easily manipulated, or easily destroyed by external circumstances. Your compassion remains intact, but it's now protected by wisdom earned through suffering. Your trust is still available, but it's now guarded by discernment, developed through experience. Your love still flows freely, but it's now directed by intelligence gained through surviving the unsurvivable. The cosmic justice resolving this situation is so perfectly calibrated that it will restore your faith in the fundamental fairness of the universe. Your betrayer will face consequences that mirror the pain they tried to inflict on you, will experience the isolation they attempted to create for you, will discover that the social destruction they orchestrated has boomeranged back with compound interest. They wanted to see you fall, but they're the ones who'll be hitting the ground so hard it leaves a crater. Remember how this story began, with someone watching over your shoulder, lurking in the shadows of their own shame. Now you understand that the real observer was never your betrayer, but your own higher self, your spiritual support system, documenting every moment of this trial for the ultimate purpose of your vindication and elevation. The shadows that seemed so threatening at the beginning are revealed to be the contrast necessary to appreciate your light, the darkness required to recognize your dawn. The strength you needed for this revelation wasn't just emotional resilience, it was the warrior energy of someone who refuses to be broken by lesser souls, someone who transforms attacks into achievements, someone who turns betrayal into breakthrough. You didn't just survive this ordeal, you conquered it, dominated it, made it serve your evolution rather than your destruction. Your betrayer's campaign of destruction has inadvertently performed the valuable service of revealing who in your life deserves your trust, and who has been masquerading as family while harboring the heart of an enemy. The cleansing fire of truth has burned away every false relationship, every toxic connection, every person whose loyalty was conditional on your continued ignorance of their true nature. The happiness approaching you isn't just emotional satisfaction, but the deep joy of someone who has earned their peace through surviving war, who has claimed their crown through conquering their greatest challenge, who has proven their worthiness to wear the title of Chosen One through refusing to be broken by the breaking. You stand now at the summit of your own spiritual evolution, looking back at the path you've traveled, not with bitterness but with gratitude, not with regret but with wisdom, not with victimhood but with the unshakable power of someone who has been tested by fire and emerged as pure gold. The person lurking in the shadows at the beginning of this story was afraid to show themselves because they knew their deeds couldn't stand the light of scrutiny. But you, Chosen One, you've learned to generate your own light, to create your own truth, to build your own empire of integrity that no amount of external darkness can touch. Their betrayal was meant to destroy you, but instead it revealed your indestructible nature, your unlimited capacity for transformation, your absolute sovereignty over your own destiny. This is your coronation disguised as controversy, your ascension masked as attack, your graduation from Chosen One in training to Chosen One fully activated and absolutely unstoppable. The shadows are lifting, the masks are falling, and you're standing in the full power of someone who cannot be dimmed by others' darkness, cannot be distorted by others' lies, cannot be derailed by others' schemes, because you've learned to source your strength from the infinite well of power within, rather than depending on the fickle approval of those around you. But wait, Chosen One, because this betrayal runs deeper than even these revelations suggest. Your family member didn't just wake up one morning and decide to destroy your life. This has been brewing for decades, festering like an infected wound in their psyche, growing stronger every time you achieved something they couldn't, every time you recovered from setbacks that would have permanently broken their spirit, every time your natural magnetism attracted opportunities they felt they deserved more than you. The psychological profile of someone capable of this level of systematic betrayal reveals disturbing patterns that go back to childhood dynamics you probably never fully understood. They've been watching you succeed where they failed, watching you maintain relationships they couldn't sustain, watching you bounce back from trauma with a resilience that made their own weakness unbearable to witness. Your very existence became a mirror reflecting everything they hated about themselves, and instead of using that reflection for growth, they decided to shatter the mirror. They've been documenting your life for purposes far beyond simple evidence gathering. They've been creating what amounts to a psychological profile, studying your patterns, your triggers, your vulnerabilities, mapping out your emotional landscape like a predator studying prey. Every conversation where you opened up about your struggles, every moment where you showed human weakness or made mistakes, they've been cataloging it all, building a comprehensive understanding of how to inflict maximum psychological damage when the time came. The financial crimes they've committed in your name represent just the tip of an iceberg of identity theft, so comprehensive it would make professional criminals envious. They haven't just opened accounts or forged signatures, they've been living parallel versions of your life in digital spaces, creating online profiles that mirror yours, establishing credit histories that shadow your legitimate ones, building entire alternate identities that could be activated whenever they needed to frame you for their activities. Your betrayer's connection to law enforcement or authority figures runs deeper than simple networking. They've been cultivating these relationships for years, positioning themselves as a reliable source of information, building credibility through smaller betrayals of other people's trust. When they finally came forward with their accusations against you, they weren't just some random family member making wild claims. They were someone with an established track record of helping authorities with sensitive information. The spiritual dimension of this betrayal involves practices and intentions that most people would find difficult to believe possible. Your family member has been engaging in deliberate energetic attacks, working with forces and entities that feed on destruction and chaos. They've been attempting to create spiritual interference in your life, trying to block your blessings, sabotage your opportunities, and create a psychic barrier between you and your highest potential. But here's what they never understood. Chosen ones are protected by cosmic forces far more powerful than anything they could summon from the shadows. The network of people your betrayer has influenced extends far beyond the obvious accomplices. They've been planting seeds of doubt about your character in casual conversations with mutual friends, family gatherings, social events, subtle suggestions that something isn't quite right about you, that your success seems suspicious, that your kindness might be hiding darker motivations. They've been operating like a master propagandist, slowly shifting public opinion through carefully timed comments and strategically shared concerns. They've been recording conversations without your knowledge, taking photographs during private moments, screenshotting text messages and social media interactions, building a multimedia case file that presents you in the worst possible light. Every family gathering where they seemed to be simply capturing memories was actually an intelligence-gathering operation designed to collect compromising material for future use. Your divine counterpart's involvement in this betrayal carries a particular sting because their feelings for you made them the perfect mark for manipulation. Your family member didn't just lie to them, they crafted a psychological campaign designed to exploit every insecurity, every fear, every doubt your counterpart had ever harbored about relationships or trust. They presented themselves as the concerned family member, trying to protect someone they loved from making a terrible mistake, all while orchestrating the very destruction they claimed to be preventing. The timing of when your betrayer chose to activate their plan wasn't random. They waited until you were at a particularly vulnerable moment in your life, a time when you were dealing with other stresses, other challenges, other demands on your emotional resources. They calculated that your ability to fight back would be diminished, that your support network would be stretched thin, that the chaos they were about to unleash would find you at your weakest point. They thought they were being strategic, but they were actually walking into a trap set by cosmic justice itself. The legal implications of what they've done extend far beyond simple fraud or identity theft. They've committed crimes that cross state lines, involve federal agencies, and carry penalties that could result in decades behind bars. The paper trail they created while trying to frame you has become a roadmap leading directly to their own criminal enterprise. Every forged document, every false statement, every fraudulent transaction has been meticulously documented by the very systems they thought they were manipulating. The investigation that's been quietly building around your case has reached a point where your betrayer can no longer maintain their facade of innocence. The authorities aren't just looking at the specific claims made against you. They're examining the entire pattern of your family members' behavior, their financial history, their relationships, their digital footprint, their psychological profile. What they've discovered is a long history of manipulation, deception, and exploitation that makes their current crimes look like the continuation of an established pattern rather than an isolated incident. Your betrayer's reaction when they realize their plan has backfired so completely will be a masterclass in narcissistic collapse. The carefully constructed image they've maintained for years will crumble in real time as evidence of their crimes becomes undeniable. The people they convinced to turn against you will witness this meltdown and finally understand the extent to which they've been manipulated. The authorities they thought they could control will see the true face behind the mask, and it won't be pretty. The financial damage they've done while trying to frame you is being reversed through a process that will leave them personally liable for every penny stolen, every dollar of credit damaged, every account compromised. The restitution they'll be forced to pay will dwarf whatever they originally stole, because the legal system doesn't just require them to return what they took, it demands compensation for the time, stress, legal fees and opportunity costs their crimes created. Your divine counterpart's moment of awakening to the truth will be devastating and liberating in equal measure. They'll realize they've been living in a carefully constructed alternate reality, believing lies so sophisticated that questioning them seemed impossible. The guilt they'll feel for their role in your betrayal will be overwhelming, but it will also fuel their determination to make amends in ways that go far beyond simple apologies. The person you become through surviving this level of betrayal isn't just stronger than who you were before, you're operating on an entirely different frequency of power and awareness. Your ability to read people, to detect deception, to sense hidden agendas becomes supernatural in its accuracy. You develop what amounts to psychological X-ray vision, seeing through facades that would fool most people, recognizing manipulation tactics before they're fully deployed. The business opportunities, relationships, and life circumstances that open up for you after your vindication will seem almost magically aligned with your highest good. This isn't coincidence. It's the universe paying interest on the investments you made in maintaining your integrity under impossible pressure. Every person of quality who witnesses how you handled this betrayal recognizes someone they want in their corner, someone whose character has been tested and proven unbreakable. Your betrayer's attempts to steal your luck, your opportunities, your very essence have backfired so completely that they've actually amplified your natural magnetism. The energy they tried to drain from you has been returned multiplied. The blessings they attempted to block have been redirected to you with compound interest. The success they envied has been magnified beyond what it would have been if they'd never interfered. The legal victory that clears your name won't just restore your reputation, it will elevate you to a level of credibility and respect that money can't buy. People will know that you've been investigated by professionals and found completely innocent, that every aspect of your character and conduct has been scrutinized and validated. This kind of third-party verification of your integrity becomes a powerful asset in every future relationship and opportunity. The spiritual growth you've experienced through this trial has activated abilities and insights that will serve you for the rest of your life. Your intuition has been honed to razor sharpness. Your discernment has been calibrated to detect the subtlest forms of deception. Your energy field has been strengthened to automatically repel those who would seek to harm you. You've graduated from Chosen One in training to Chosen One fully operational and absolutely dangerous to those who traffic in lies and manipulation. The ultimate irony of your betrayer's elaborate scheme is that every action they took to destroy you has contributed to your elevation. Their lies about your character have prompted investigations that proved your integrity beyond question. Their attempts to isolate you from support have revealed who your true allies really are. Their efforts to steal your opportunities have cleared the path for even better ones to emerge. They thought they were writing your destruction, but they were actually authoring your triumph. The network of accomplices they built to support their deception is collapsing as each person realizes they've been used as pawns in someone else's game. The authorities they tried to manipulate are now pursuing them with the focused intensity of professionals who don't appreciate being lied to. The family members they turned against you are now seeing through the manipulation and understanding how thoroughly they've been played. Your divine counterpart's return to your life will be accompanied by a level of appreciation and commitment that never could have developed without the contrast of almost losing you forever. They'll understand that what you have together is rare and precious, worth fighting for and protecting against all external threats. The relationship that emerges from this trial will be unshakable because it's been tested by the ultimate stress and proven genuine. I must interrupt this transmission for just a moment. Are you really chosen? Prove it. It's easy to watch videos about chosen ones. It's another thing entirely to put yourself to the test. When I confronted the Archons beyond our reality, they made one thing clear: true chosen ones are rare. They laughed at the thought of us finding each other. Yet here you are watching this message. The Obsidian Inner Order isn't for everyone claiming to be awakened. We're the real ones, those who've seen beyond the veil, felt the call, and carry the unmistakable frequency. But are you truly one of us? I have given you everything I've got, and I'm digging deeper to bring you even more. Don't just consume content from the sidelines. Real chosen ones take action. Share your story on our weekly group call. Discover if your experiences align with the authentic signs. The Archons fear nothing more than chosen ones recognizing each other. When we connect, our frequencies amplify and create a force they cannot stop. That's why we're going to be live streaming to the entire Astral Atom network. To find every last one of us, click the link in the description below now. It's time to stop wondering and confirm what you already suspect. Are you merely interested in awakening, or are you truly chosen? Prove it. Join us. The verification you seek awaits with the Obsidian Inner Order. The aftermath of this revelation will reshape not just your immediate relationships, but your entire understanding of human nature and divine protection. When the full scope of your betrayer's crimes becomes public knowledge, people will look at you with a mixture of awe and respect that comes from witnessing someone who survived the unsurvivable and emerged stronger rather than broken. Your name will become synonymous with integrity under fire, with grace under pressure, with the kind of spiritual strength that most people only read about in ancient texts. Your betrayer's social circle will implode as people realize they've been associating with someone capable of such calculated cruelty toward family. The community that once embraced them will recoil in horror at the depths of deception they've witnessed. Former friends will distance themselves not just from the betrayer but from anyone who supported their campaign against you, creating a social reckoning that extends far beyond the immediate participants in this betrayal. The professional consequences for your betrayer will extend beyond criminal penalties into a lifetime of unemployability in any position requiring trust or financial responsibility. Their name will be associated with fraud, deception, and family betrayal in ways that make professional rehabilitation virtually impossible. They've destroyed not just their freedom, but their entire future, all in service of a scheme that was doomed from the moment they decided to attack someone protected by cosmic forces beyond their comprehension. Your divine counterpart's transformation through this experience will be profound and permanent. They'll develop an almost supernatural ability to detect manipulation and deception, having learned firsthand how sophisticated these attacks can be. Their love for you will be tempered with a protective fierceness that comes from knowing how close they came to losing something irreplaceable through their own temporary blindness. The generational impact of this betrayal and its resolution will ripple through your family line for decades to come. Future relatives will hear this story as a cautionary tale about the consequences of jealousy, manipulation, and betrayal within families. Your name will be spoken with reverence as someone who maintained their integrity when it would have been easier to fight fire with fire, who chose truth when lies seemed more convenient, who demonstrated that chosen ones don't just survive attacks, but transform them into testimonies of unshakable character. The chosen ones always win in the end, not because we're lucky, but because we're unbreakable. Not because we avoid betrayal, but because we transform it into breakthrough. Your betrayer thought they were writing your ending, but they were actually authoring their own downfall while providing you with the raw material for your greatest comeback story. Welcome to your sovereignty, chosen one. Your kingdom awaits, and this time you know exactly who deserves a seat at your table and who needs to remain outside the gates where they belong.